Tell me what it was like getting on the radio for you, right? So you do all these tours, you do all these different things that kind
Sure,
of prepare you to be able to be a top level DJ pretty much anywhere you go.
sure.
So like how do you transition from doing all that to eventually getting a slot on the radio and like doing like moving in that direction?
Sure. So, I mean, again, from the research, I shout out to Big O because he's really, Big O and Pup Dog, of course, the big boss. But what I've really learned is in radio. I mean, even the history of it, DJs only really put on people they trust and have a real strong relationship with because it's so important. There's really no room for error. So beyond being someone who's like reliable and on time, you have to be almost like bulletproof, with consistency. Because if I mess up, then it's on so it's just looking back at, like, again, growing up in New York and listening to some of the listening to Funk Flex, and and there's also Bobito and Stretch, and they had like all that underground hip hop stuff. So there was, on the radio, to me, growing up was just something I felt like I would never be like prominent or cool enough to be on. That was just, I never really thought about it that way, until moving up here and then seeing some of the homies like get on. It's definitely, I was like, oh, okay. If I can put in the work and build the relationships, then that's where it really comes down to. Because again, it's an important, you know, um, it's so important to just be consistent and clean and reliable. And that's, you know, it's like they say, like, good help's hard to find, right? So like you need, if you want to be on, you have to be like not good, you have to be like stellar. Like you really have to be polished to the point where your mixing can be on iHeart clean.
Right, yeah.
Like that's you know. But yeah, I mean, I think for me, you know, it's just an amazing way that I can kind of put my kind of style to way the way I mix. As as being a turntablist, like for me, finding those few seconds to add some scratching, to the mixes like that, I love that. Like that's everything to me, and just to be like a part of hip hop culture, or music culture. I mean, I know there's plenty of people who may say, be like, hip hop's not, it's rap music, hip hop's culture, hip hop, in our jam, we say Boston's number one for hip hop, so I don't want to get into semantics, but the reality is that me being like a hip hop DJ and just really appreciating, a high level of DJ skill and being able to bring that to my sets means a lot. And then of course, again, just being a part of the culture. I mean, I remember making my debut as a weekend mixer right in the middle of the Drake Kendrick beef, you know, and to literally on the talk break be like, "Yo, who do you got, Kung Fu Kenny or Drizzy Drake?" And to be literally the one, picking the records and playing Family Fair, or Not Like Us, Euphoria, and kind of like going like that, like just going back and forth, Meet the Grams, like it's such a crazy time. It just made me think of like when Jay-Z and Nas had that, and it really took me back to that time because like listening on the radios, like they would literally go like Ether, Takeover, Ugly to Got Yourself a Gun, and it's just to be like, yo, I'm the one who's doing that now. It's on some level an incredible honor, but at the same time, I definitely have a lot more to learn and to keep trying to progress for sure.